Navajo tacos are insanely delicious. I grew up with these. And today I'm going to be making the classic version and a surf and turf version that I put together with some beef short ribs. So if you're new to this channel, thank you so much for clicking on the video. Please watch through the end, see if it's something you like. Comment, subscribe if you'd like to. And for all my existing subscribers, thank you so much. And let's make this shit. Navajo tacos are already legendary. I grew up with these in the Southwest. Growing up, almost every month had at least 1 to 2 nights of having Navajo tacos with my family, and I love them to death. But today, I'm gonna be taking them a bit further. We've got the classic golden, crisp, ground beef Navajo taco that we all seem to love and enjoy, which is honestly OG and amazing in its own. And first, we're gonna do the classic. I'm talking about the nice, crispy, golden flatbread with the smoky beef and the beans on top. We're gonna do that one. But we're also gonna take it a little bit further. We're gonna go off the rails, okay? Join me on this adventure because we're gonna go off the rails and we're going to create a surf and turf version. Yes, surf and turf. I'm talking about braised short ribs with charred shrimp with a great jalapeno corn salsa and then a jalapeno crema to go on top as well. If these do not ruin how much you love just regular plain tacos, I don't know what will, but I'm pretty damn sure you make these two, you're gonna love them and you're gonna want them again. So, without further ado, people, I burped. Without further ado, people, let's make this shit. Okay, so to kick things off, we're gonna start off with the short ribs. So I've got a white onion here. I'm gonna use a whole one and just slice it very thin. For the short ribs, I'm gonna go ahead and heavily salt and pepper all sides with fresh ground pepper and kosher salt. These are gonna go into my pressure cooker. I have a Ninja version, which I'm gonna go ahead and sear them in. There's already some oil down at the bottom. Sear them up. Then I'm gonna add in the onions, and I'm also gonna add in about 6 cloves of garlic as well. You won't see it in the video, but you can just smash them and toss them in, or you can mince them as well. Then, after giving these a nice color, so like you want some color on your onions and everything, we're gonna add in some beef stock. I'm gonna add in about 4 cups of beef stock to this, and then 3 tablespoons of ancho chili powder. You can also go with some paprika if you'd like, but let's move on to the fry bread. For the fry bread, I've got 2 cups of white flour here. Then I'm gonna add in a tablespoon of baking powder. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add in about a 1/4 cup of lard that I melted down in the microwave, and I'm gonna start mixing this up. I'm gonna add water as I go. It's gonna start getting a little tacky. That's fine. Just gonna add it. We want to get it to the right consistency, so I play by feel with this recipe, and so I just add a little bit of water along the way while I'm forming the dough. And then eventually when it's really tacky like this, I'm gonna go ahead and add some more flour to this to make sure that it's not tacky. I want it like a nice bread dough, okay? So not sticky, not tacky, just want it nice and almost dry in a way. There we are. After a few nice slaps to get any air pockets out, we are ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover this and leave it on the counter or in a warm place for about 30 to 40 minutes. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start working on our salsa here. So I'm gonna go ahead and dice up some jalapenos. I got 2 jalapenos here. Then I'm gonna go ahead and dice up a whole purple or red, whatever we want to call it, onion. And I'm also going to give a nice rough chop to about a handful of cilantro. In a pan heated to medium to high heat, I'm going to go ahead and drop in a pound of ground beef. So I'm going to give this a good mix. I always like to choose the fattiest ground beef I can. I'm not much of the lean ground beef type of person, but we want to season this. So we're going to start off with some ancho chili powder, about 2 tablespoons of that. Then we're going to come through with a tablespoon of Mexican oregano as well. Salt and pepper to taste. I'm using kosher salt and then fresh ground black pepper. And then we're gonna go ahead and grate half a white onion in here. It comes out really awesome. I learned this from some Middle Eastern cooking. It is really awesome and it enhances the flavor a ton. Okay, so while this is going on, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the corn. So for the corn, for our salsa, I'm going to go ahead and toast this corn in a pan. Just get it to a nice medium heat and get some nice color on it before we go back to working on our ground beef. While we're waiting to get a nice char on our ground beef, there is one thing I want to add, which is a heaping tablespoon of lard. This is completely optional. You can go with beef tallow if you want to as well. That would be awesome. It'll give it a nice rich flavor. And then I'm just going to scrape up that nice fond at the bottom as well so we can incorporate that with the meat. Setting the meat aside in my oven on warm, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the refried beans. I didn't have refried beans, so I grabbed some pinto and I just smashed them in a pan over medium heat. Just got them nice and clumpy. It took a little bit, but it's definitely worth it. While those beans cook down, I'm going to go ahead and work on the salsa. So for the corn salsa, I'm adding the corn, the cilantro, the red onions, and the jalapeños that we diced up earlier. Going to give that a really good mix, and then just set in the fridge for later. Now it's time to work on our crema sauce. So I actually forgot that I was out of crema, so I'm going with sour cream here. If you can get crema, definitely go with it. And I'm going to drop that into a blender cup or a blender receptacle of some sort, and then drop in about a handful of cilantro, the same with some diced jalapenos. So I went with 2 small jalapenos, and then I'm coming back through and I'm going to add in a little bit of olive oil here. So just about, like a couple tablespoons of olive oil, and then the juice of 1 lime. You can do half a lime or a full lime if you would like. You can also add in some garlic to add some richness, but just throw it into the blender. But it is time for our beef here. So it has been sitting in the pressure cooker for about 60 minutes, I would say, covered, of course, sealed it after I seared everything, and then went ahead with the pressure cooking process. So I'm going to set that aside and start cutting it down very soon. But on a medium to high heat pan, I have our shrimp. So I'm going to heavily salt and pepper these shrimps, and I'm going to give them some, again, ancho chili powder. You don't have to use this. You can go with smoked paprika, but I really love the taste of this. So it is well incorporated within this dish in so many angles. Then I'm going to go ahead and juice 1 lime in there. Give these a nice toss. I'm looking for a really good sear. All right, now that the shrimp is done, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the oven on warm. Then I'm going to go ahead and start cutting the meat off of our beef short ribs here. And I'm going to give them a good chop. And what I mean by that is I'll first start off by slicing them down once they're off the bone, and then just give everything a nice rough chop here. All right. I'm going to set that aside, of course, in the oven on warm, and then we're going to start working on our fry bread. So it's been sitting for a while. It's ready to go. I'm going to cut it into 6 equal pieces, and then I'm going to form these into little balls of dough before I go ahead and start flattening them out. You want these about the size, a little bit less than like a fajita tortilla. So, well, nice, round, the best you can. And yeah, there you go. Before we start frying in some oil. All right, it is fry time. So we've got our Indian fry bread in hot oil here. I'm using peanut oil for this. And you really want to stay with these because you want to watch them, make sure they don't burn, and you got to give them a few flips and everything. And you can also keep these and make a really good dessert for your kids or yourself with them with some powdered sugar and honey. But we are ready to plate, people. So for the plating process, we're going to start off with our pinto beans. Of course, they are going to go to the bottom. For the classic, we're going to give it its awesome ground beef that we made earlier. And of course, our short ribs for the other version that I came up with today. And of course, it's shrimp, so we can make it that surf and turf version that we were truly looking for. Then we're going to come up with some cheese. I always like to add the cheese, heat it up in the microwave, and then add my fixins, but we're going to do this for viewing
educational viewing purposes, I guess I could say. Add on some diced jalapenos if you will. You can also do some diced tomatoes, some cilantro, and then we're going to come through, and of course, we want to start adding in that corn salsa that we made earlier onto the other one. You can add on both if you want to, if you like it. Then some nice lettuce. I got this from my garden. And we're going to go ahead and put that shredded lettuce on there. And then that crema sauce right there. Look at that. I can't thank you enough for watching this video. And please let me know in the comments below what you think about the dish and what your favorite elements were. If you tried it yourself and how it came out. Well, now let's see how it came out for me.
All right, and we are done. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this. So we're gonna start with the OG first, which is just the ground beef and the refried beans, some cheese. So here we go. That can't disappoint. I mean, honestly, you put some El Pato on it, which is the duck sauce. If you don't know what El Pato is, it's on Amazon. You can order it to your house. It's a picante sauce, and man, it's amazing. So, on to the other one. Go ahead and try it. Looks insane. I gotta say, I'm sorry, but not sorry. This one that I made today is far better than the old school one I grew up with. Just as what it is. Anyways, guys, both are good recipes. Definitely try them out. And thank you so much for watching. So I'm gonna eat this shit, and yeah, cheers.